Ladies and gentlemen, it is time once again to go out on the track. This time in CRC 3 here in Cone Racing League. We are going to France. Absolutely excited to start. Along me, we have a good dear friend of mine. We do have a good old friend, Bumpje. How are you doing, Bumpje?
Hello everyone. Yeah, thanks for the introduction. I'm doing very good and very excited to watch how this race unfolds. Of course, with this very good track for league racing, not so much in the real life, of course. But yeah, very looking forward to it.
Definitely very, very exciting times here. We are in France, Paul Ricard, a beautiful track. There's a lot of straights, good opportunities for overtaking, but we're not going to jump into the race just yet because we have qualifying just before, and there was a lot happened last week already. Do you want to share some words of what happened last time, Bumpje?
I will definitely will. Well, the action all started, of course, in qualifying one once again, as it's always does every week, with a lot of retirements. In that first qualifying session, of course, here the walls are a bit further from the track, so I expect a lot less crashes in this qualifying session. Hopefully, we see 15 drivers into Q2, which wasn't the case last time. But then in the race, it was a pretty straightforward win for our German driver in the Red Bull, Leon. He pretty much dominated from start to finish to win the race. Only really threatened by some safety cars, but he held firmly to the lead and he won. The podium was rounded off by Jacko and AlphaTauri and Mark Wilson in the Alpine. Very strong debut from Mark there in Tier 3.
Amazing debut, definitely here from Mark. Well, as mentioned, we did have Leon as well on the very front row on the end of the race. He took the first victory here in CRC 3, and we do have a few drivers out on track as well already. But before we're going to jump into our 18 minutes qualifying session, I do want to let you know, guys, that this is the first time that we're going to try to attempt streaming over OBS and directly to YouTube. So please apologize for anything, any mistakes from our side, but we're gonna go straight on track, and we have CRL Nacho here currently in sector 1 on the soft tires. Very, very beautiful section of turns, but very, very tricky, also easy to invalidate. Drivers need to be on their absolute best performance here today, and so far, of course, he's the first driver out on track, currently a purple first sector, but there are so many other drivers as well just behind. Very, very beautiful cut here on the first, on the left hand side, over the curb on the exit early on the throttle, staying in 7th gear, then flat out a fast right hander. Definitely one of the quickest turns here in France. approaching to one of the more difficult. It's so easy to lose the car, especially the rear end here, but very, very smooth from Nacho. Just by seeing his name, I'm getting hungry already, and hungry he's getting himself just as he's passing the Red Bull driver. Was off track the last turn, and let's see what time we have for the first time on the scoreboard. He's approaching the racing line, and his first time is going to be a 30.95.
Indeed it is. I've seen some feedback in the chat already coming in. My volume is a bit low, so maybe you can turn it up a bit in our call.
Yes, absolutely.
With that OBS, it is always a bit measure and go, but here is somewhat tip off. He is around the final quarter, going onto the finish line, and he does go second, only 3/10 of Nacho. So it's a very strong time already from the McLaren driver. And last time out, it was Leon as well on pole. No, it was Fandango actually on pole, as Grego crashes out just at the beginning of sector 2, so that's already our second retirement of this qualifying one session. I was already saying that it would probably be a bit more reluctant here with the DNFs, but already 2 out, that's not what you want to see in this qualifying one. Of course, trying to put the banker in, just to get a lap time, maybe go through on that soft tire the first run, but putting it into the wall, and that's qualifying over immediately.
Definitely very, very unlucky here for the drivers. Unfortunately, Mark and Craig go not able to continue here on qualifying session, but there's always some a good chance for the race to make up some times, and we are going to jump straight away to a next driver here. Leon, a very, very strong start as well. Once again, we have him on the pole position with a 30.8, just a 10th quicker. And we're going to have a quick look who's on a lap at this moment of time. Mazzles is on a quick lap as well right now, just behind Cakes Eye. Cakes Eye just reserving as well for Dragon on speed, who's unfortunately not able to race today. But a very, very quick driver himself, as I have some experience racing against him during the last season. But Mazzles is approaching the line here. Gonna look for a good time here. A 30.3 pole position for Mazzles currently.
And by a margin as well, almost 5/10 as of Jacko, well, reduces that margin to the second position with a lap time from himself. That puts him into second, of course. Jacko on the podium as well last time out. He wasn't one of the ones that was the fastest in qualifying, with Leon, Dragon, Fandango and Warrior Huntsman battling out for that pole position. But I'm excited to see which drivers can deliver this time.
Absolutely, and I'm just trying to sort out the issues that we have at the moment as well, but some other issues that the drivers experience. Fandango just spun on the exit and the second sector. Unfortunately for him, he has to go back into the pits, has to change his front wing and go out once again. And just as we talked about Cakes Eye, he is just in the third and final sector. Let's see what time he'll be able to do. Very smooth here on the throttle as well, smooth input, and the line looks very, very clean here from the McLaren driver. Just 2 more turns to go, approaching the very last turn. 4th gear, downshift to 2nd gear, upshift to 3rd gear in the apex. 3rd gear, upshift to 4th gear, activating the DRS, approaching the finish line and coming across the line. He's putting himself up to P4 with a 30.9, extremely close to P2, but Mazzles is just way quicker than everyone else currently.
Mazzles really in a league of his own, isn't he? It's always, well, as we say that, Wild Dog, very close to Mazzles, so it's probably Mazzles and Wild Dog in a league of their own at the moment. From P3 downwards to P10, only 4 tenths separating them on 90 seconds of a lap, so that's very, very close. It probably will be a very good midfield battle once again. Very close, so definitely keeping an eye on that one. AFL, he has aborted his lap in the third sector, probably heading into the pits. And talking about the pit entry, it is a very weird one, isn't it?
Oh,
You
definitely.
can easily cut the white line there, as we saw in our tier 1 already this week. Very easy to get a 5-second penalty for that. The dotted line you can cross, but the solid line is just not crossable. If you cross that one, it's a 5-second penalty immediately, if of course it gets caught by one of the drivers or by us on stream.
Absolutely, and this is just to see how serious we take this league, and every single driver is taking it very, very serious to follow the rules and stay within them, and fair racing. That is what we are all here for the fun, for the enjoyment. At the same time, we had the Alfa Romeo driver of Riordan put himself into the top 5 currently as well with a 30.9. We have a few drivers on a 30.9 and a 30.8, but let's see if there are any other drivers who can improve their time. Let's see, Boris Huntsman is currently on a fast lap as well. His teammate just put himself up to P5. What position can he make himself up to in his top 3 on a 30.7? Alfa Romeo looking quite good at the moment. Very close together.
Yeah, P3 and P6 definitely wanting to stay there, of course. 2 of the drivers that actually got into the 30s. I wonder, with the times now, a 30.3, maybe in the last qualifying session with the track rubbing in, maybe we can see times going into the 29s. He'll be very fast. I expect this grid to be capable of it.
Absolutely.
But of course, maybe with the rain coming in, I noticed as well, there is rain at the end of the race. Once again, as was the case in Australia. There, it wasn't enough to go onto the inters, but maybe we'll see it here. Can always spice things up. But yeah, Mark Wilson, one of our retirements, has got a qualifying ban, so that's the reason for his retirements.
Very, very unfortunate for him, and just received a penalty. We are currently on board with Hedgehog, the Merc driver, currently in P8, and his teammate is P13. Merc needs to step up the game for just a little bit, and I think Hedgehog is a definitely very, very fast driver, and just missed the track and stayed on it. That's going to be very curious, but he's spinning out, unfortunately for him. Probably one of the first little waves from our commentator curse as well. This week also with us, with lovely boom help as well. The only driver out on track who has not invalidated their lap time or is not on the outlap is Murphy, with a beautiful car, the AlphaTauri, that definitely love to drive. Well, I definitely enjoyed driving it last season. The sound of the car is beautiful, and I just like blue. And if you like blue, you will definitely like France as well. A beautiful track from the helicopter, from the bird view. Also very, very risky and tricky. And tricky last section here for Murphy. In the last turn, down to 2nd gear, up to 4th gear, quick upshift to 6th gear. DRS is activated over the line, and he's, well, that was just a warm-up lap, but he has purple 3rd sector. I think he's preparing his lap time right now.
He has gone into P7, into the 30s. My volume is still a bit low, I don't know, but you can change about that. So that's one thing to keep an eye on. The other thing to keep an eye on was Hedgehog. He was on a lap, but he unfortunately spun, hence why the low lap time from him. And then on the next run, his tires were still a bit too warm. Spun on the exit of turn 2. It's not the qualifying he wants from the Mercedes driver so far.
Definitely not. Mercedes is one of want to see performing a little bit better. But on the other side, we do have a fast car that you are usually seeing on a lower part of the grid. McConey just coming across the last turn. Let's see what he move, but a bit wider line here, just missing the apex on the last turn. McConey crossing over the line, and he's putting himself up to P6, also 30.8. Another driver putting himself up to the 30.8.9.
Fandango actually improving on the 30.8. He goes into a 30.5. So I dare to say he is through to Q2. But he is going for another run. Let's see if he can improve very close to invalidating there at the end of Sector 1. Is he improving in Sector 1? Yes, he is. 2 tenths up already. So if he can just match his other sectors, that is P1 for the Williams driver here in France at Circuit Le Castellet.
Good braking there as well, going over both curbs, so on the entry and on the exit. The Williams driver Fandango is he's taking the entire track. The track is there to race, and he's definitely taking the advantage of it. Just kissing the curb entirely. Oh, that was a bit wide. He's still wide, and yes, unfortunately he did have, well, he did invalidate his time, but he has some more time to go back into the pits and maybe do another lap. 3 minutes ago, he definitely has to go back in since his CRS is low. Let's see who else is still out on track. Are you currently watching anyone?
I am not. I don't think anyone is on a lap. Maybe Murphy, just in the last sector now, but he is very low on ERS. He is derating, so that won't be a very good lap time. Tom Tiptop though, I think he is the only one on a lap, the McLaren driver in Sector 3 now.
We still have a few issues as well here with the audio. I'm trying to sort this out. Maybe I'll need to get some advice here from our main commentator, our Scott. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to set it up just yet. But Tomo Tiptop is crossing the line and improved by 6 tenths, but it was an invalidation. So he definitely has the potential for a better lap and to jump up a few positions there, but he just needs to stay within the 2 lines.
Definitely does. I think if you increase my volume on Discord with the user volume, it will help a bit.
Yeah, there has been increased as well already to 200. So I'm gonna have a look around what I can do.
It's not the greatest, of course, but let's keep an eye on as qualifying 1 is coming to an end here. And a lot of drivers on their outlap. And some uninvalidated runs as Leon and Gauthier Lefoulon, for example. Currently in the drop zone is Hedgehog. He is on a lap. Definitely wants to improve because this time isn't gonna cut it for him. In Sector 1 now. He definitely needs to go into the low 31s, maybe the high 30s will be enough as well. But it's only 2 places that will get knocked out since 3 already retired. Because, well, either they joined the session too late, qualifying ban, or just the walls came too close to their car. Definitely the pressure is on for Hedgehog and Quick Killer. The Aston Martin and the Mercedes. Quick Killer though is fastest in Sector 2.
Very, very good section, as we like to call him, on CRL. The CRL dual chicane. They Hedgehog way through that section between Sector 2, approaching now his last few turns. Very, very. He just caught his car as well. He touched the curb on the left hand side. Very, very good reaction from the Mercedes driver. Now is the time, and Quick Killer is improving the time to a 30.1 up to pole position. Here comes Hedgehog approaching the line. It's in a 30 31.1. Still P15. Unfortunately, it did not improve. Let's see who else is fast out on track as well. And we have a couple of drivers going back into the pit. Christopher is still fast, but we have some drivers as well ahead, as in Riordan, the last turn, coming towards the line. Riordan currently in P9. Can he improve his time? And he can, by 1 position, up to P8. Very, very well done for him. His teammate, Rory Huntsman, unfortunately validated his lap. And let's see the last driver on track, who is behind a Mercedes driver. Oh, not the last driver, but both of them very, very close. Across the line. And Jacko up to P3. What an impressive performance for the AlphaTauri driver here in the top 3 starting positions. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is qualifying. We have Quick Killer with an impressive 2/10 quicker than P2, ahead of Mazzles on a 30.1. Absolutely impressive from the Aston Martin driver here in pole position in France.
Indeed, and just the last few seconds, Christopher knocked his teammate out to go into Q2, but unfortunately Hedgehog missed the cut because of that.
Very, very unfortunate for the driver. Sometimes racing can be very, very tricky and, well, and as we have seen today. But Quick Killer here, P1 in the Aston Martin driver, just ahead of the Williams of Mazzles, and AlphaTauri of Jacko is competing in the top 3. White Dog, the Ferrari, just ahead of Fandango, who had a very impressive qualifying session. He just wasn't able to put it down to the wire. Rory Huntsman, P6, Leon, P7, Riordan, McConey, and Murphy is finishing up the top 10, shortly followed by KXI, Nacho, Crucifix, AFL, and etc. This is going to be very, very interesting at the start. Are we going to get any different weather conditions as well? Is it going to get a little bit wet on track, or are we going to fully try jumping into qualifying 2? Looks like we still have beautiful weather here for Ricard. Drivers are just getting ready at this moment of time, and it's a good opportunity for us to have a look at the drivers that we have at the. What do you think? Who do you think has a great chance here to taking a pole position for the race start, or even a top 5 start for the race? Let us know in the comments, everybody. It's amazing to have you here. Unfortunately, I do apologize for the difficulties that we have with the audio. I will definitely get in touch with our dear, loved, biggest commentator, Freefall Scotty himself, because he's just a perfect streaming every single driver. Well, not everyone. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drivers out on track. We're just warming up their tires. Times.
Indeed, there are a lot of drivers going on mediums as well, taking the gamble. Starting on mediums is always the better strategy, of course. I've changed something. Doesn't really sound like my audio is improving. I've changed some settings, but let us know in the chat.
Does sound a little bit more bust, as we are trying to find the best setting here for the streaming. Next week we'll have everything sorted out, and we'll have our first driver approaching the start finish line. Start their first lap as beautiful orange McLaren on soft tires. Not on medium tires. He currently thinks that he needs to have a quicker time. He wants to be safe. Maybe he's using old tires currently. Beautiful sector 1. Oh, just about stayed on track. Very, very close. Beautiful acceleration onto the first DRS straight. And trying to improve his time. Make up some good time by accelerating early, staying now to the right hand side, braking 75 meter board somewhere, and then kissing the curb on the right hand side, throwing the car over the curb on the left on the exit as well. Once again on the exit. Extremely precise there. The McLaren driver once again. Purple second sector, of course he's first out on track, steering at 50 meter board, touch the curb on the right hand side, swing out on the left, but not too far to swing back in the middle, rotate the car around, and once again just the opposite to the left hander. Very, very wide here, just missing the apex to stay on the right curb to have a better entry for the next braking part, which is a very tricky braking part. If you drive without ABS, the last two turns as in, they are very, very tricky to affectionate. But KXI approaching the line, our first time in qualifying 2 is a little bit slower, a 31.5 for now.
Indeed, and it's very interesting to see what the medium runners can do. Of course, a lot of pressure on them to get through to Q3 on the medium tires. It will be a very beneficial starting position if you get into the Q3 on mediums. Medium hard, I think, is the best strategy around here, if you can stick with the cars in front. So that's probably what these guys are aiming for, maybe even stretching it to a medium soft, but at very close times here, from P2 to P6, only 2/10 in between them. And now it's a Haas driver of McConey that is coming across the final turns here, turn 14 and then turn 15, hucking the apex on the inside, short shifting upwards, getting the power down nice and easy. Across the line, what is it gonna be? It is a 35, so he definitely made a mistake on that lap. And he is gonna go again for another one here.
The benefit of being on the medium tires, you can go once again if you dare to, and if you have a good tire management with along in the end. Martin is starting his lap time now as well, and we have some drivers approaching the start and finish line as it is. Jacko once again on soft tires. What time is he going to be able to do? A 32.0, so we do see that the times are not that crazy quick, except of Nacho, who just smashed everyone into the floor with a 6/10 difference from P1 up to P2. But of course he is on soft tires.
He is. It definitely helps a lot. I think it is maybe around a second that the tires can make a difference if you go on from the medium to the soft. In this qualifying session, McConey, after that mistake, he is 3 seconds up, so it's definitely going to be an improvement on his position. But it needs to be a lot of improvement on his position, but he heads into the pits, so he won't start on the medium tires, I don't think.
Do not think either. We do have AFL in a beautiful Red Bull livery out on track currently. Just approaching last few turns as well on the medium, currently in P10. AFL, a driver that is considered to be very, very quick, but he is going into as well as every other driver. Almost everybody is in the pit. We have Gautier still out on a fast lap, and he just spun as we were about to jump towards him. I think quicker out on a out lap or a warm-up lap.
Accommodator curse striking once again.
Definitely a good start so far.
It is definitely real, as you're saying here. A lot of drivers now switching over to the soft tires. Go on those, maybe abort their runs in the end, but just to be safe, go into the softs. get a good lap in, through to Q3. With a safety car, everything can change, of course. Maybe with an early safety car, a soft start maybe is even better than a medium start. But that's of course a big gamble to take. And not, well, what you really want to do.
Really do have drivers all around you. Have currently got here, live along, I think, warming up right now for the next session. You have Murphy approaching his next lap. Let's stay on board with him for an entire lap. We can do, keeping an eye on the board out there. Bumpy, if you would like us to take us through to the lap.
From Gautier level on,
Have Murphy here in.
Let's go on board with Murphy there indeed. Just coming across the sector 2 line here now. Purple sector 1, 22.4, hugging the curb on the inside. It can unsettle your car a bit. Kissing the curb on the left just to minimize the distance that you need to travel on this long straight. Get an exit as well. Coming through the speed trap here to the dual chicken. Turns 8 and 9, hugging the curbs on the both insides and here of course on the outside as well, to just minimize the distance once again. Let's see what's he gonna do in sector 2. It is purple once again, but he is outside the top 10, so that can change the timing screens a bit. Coming into turn 11 now, it's a very tricky turn. It can be taken in multiple ways actually. Going onto the curb on the outside there as well, really maximizing the track. Late apex on turn 12, and here turn 13, it isn't really a turn, just a little bit of a kink. Turn 14, again cutting the curb as much as you can on the inside. The last turn, be careful on the power, but in third gear it should be all fine. And now going towards the line, what's it gonna be? It is gonna be a professional P1 with a 30.4 here from the AlphaTauri driver. Very good lap from him.
Absolutely, very, very impressive from Murphy, taking the pole position by 2 tenths here in front of Nacho. We have another Aston Martin, well, we have an Aston Martin driver as the other Aston Martin driver just went into the pit. We have Quick Killer approaching the line and is starting his lap time actually. Enable the LED data that will help me a little bit more, and a beautiful turn 1, but it looks like he's flashing a bit. He's enough DRS, but you never know about the his fuel. Kissing the curb here, and on the right hand as well, staying a little further to the left and going to the right hand side. A big roller coaster drive here in France, especially in sector 1. You have to change the direction on the track so many times to get the perfect speed out of every single turn. We have McConey as well currently, and making up his time up onto P3 on a 30.8, just behind as we go back to Quick Killer. See how he's performing, very, very quick, minus 1.4 seconds. Of course, he had a bit slower time, but you always love to see a green delta. It just gives you the motivation to push even more. Don't touch the curb on the left side, definitely staying away from it. Also staying away from the curb on the right hand side. Really don't want to risk anything, and the last turn is so difficult to turn in properly there. You have no references. He just perfectly turning, coming across the line. Quick Killer now up to P4, also on the soft, so we have only got here Live Alone currently in P10, and as I said, there's Jackal just smashed this time by 200ths of a second. Jackal currently the only driver on medium, and never mind, we have him straight away kicked out on now in P10, so he will need to go again.
He definitely was taking a risk going onto the medium tires this late in qualifying, and both Red Bulls there with Leon in P1 and AFL in P4, but both breaking the lap time, and Jacko now in P12. He needs to go into the pit lane, go out on a fresh set of soft tires to go into Q3, if he wants that of course. Maybe he wants the tactical tactical position, that is P11, P12 of course, not bad as well. As we see that Fandango, the first driver, into the 30.0s. A very good lap time from him. He's probably through with that lap time. He doesn't need to push on this one. Just save the tires and get him nice and fresh for the start of the race. And be in a very good position then to do the one stop or maybe even a two stop with safety cars.
Definitely loads of options here for Fandango. Beautiful. Very, very quick time. Let's see if we have a second driver as well on top. I'm currently on board with our Ferrari driver Walter, currently in P15, but he did do a purple second sector and is taking a very nice line here. Smooth on the throttle, just not wanting to go on the curb at all, doesn't want to risk anything, and not too close to the curb. Once again, a nice little kiss coming across the start and finish line, getting a little slight slipstream from the McLaren ahead, and he's jumping up to P7. Good time as well as last session up to P7, but the question is this going to be enough? Because that was his very last try.
It was, but I can tell you one thing, Quick Killer isn't gonna beat his time. He just entered the pits. So that won't be enough time for him to start another run. And there he indeed retires. So that's confirmation of him not improving his position. He is in a very precautious position there to be knocked out of Q2 in P8 currently, but P11 to P15, all very close, all within the tenth of each other. So they definitely looking to improve. Jacko, the only one who still is on medium tires, so he really doesn't want to start on the soft tires. Even used mediums sounds better for him, but let's see what he can do in sector 2, but he isn't improving. So he only have one shot on used mediums as Christopher there goes into P8, knocks Quick Killer one position down further, and Warrior Huntsman into P4. That's Quick Killer already on the edge of elimination. So it's looking like Quick Killer is gonna be out of Q2 here, don't you think so?
Definitely, I do agree here as well, and KXI needs to make a better lap time. Is on the edge, he's on the line on the left hand side. Let's see if he can put himself into Q3, and he does! Impressive, a 30.39 are currently top 3. KXI once again proving that he indeed is a good driver and a potential pole position sitter. But top 3-4 driver, not too far away. It's only 4 tenths, but the difference between Fandango and Leon is 2 tenths. It's quite a lot, and if you want to improve your time, you have to really push a lot. We're having a look on the last cars coming across the line. Got here left along up to P9. Who is next? We have Mazzles coming across the line, and very quick 7 tenths improvement. Can he put himself? And he can! P2! Currently the Williams driver on a 30.2. Who's out? I think Natro's out as well right now, and he is once again the P2 on a 30.0. Wow! What times do we see here? And I think it's Murphy that is out. He's still out 0 laps, and he once again improved another 30.0. What are we witnessing here?
It is very, very close. The top 3 only separated by 36 thousandths. That is incredible to see on this track. But unfortunately, we saw Jacko, Riordan, Quick Killer, Christopher and Wild Dog all eliminated. And Christopher and Wild Dog very close to the back of Gauthier Levelon, only 200s. Missing out on Q3 are the Mercedes and the Ferrari driver. Lucky for them. And I've also seen the clouds. They got a lot heavier, so maybe it is gonna drizzle a bit in qualifying 3. So the drivers probably really wanting to get out there as soon as they can to get a lap time in the drive times and secure themselves a very good starting position.
Definitely. Is it gonna get a little bit darker here on track? France is always very, very... It's changing so quick, and if we think back in qualifying 1 and qualifying 2, we had beautiful weather, but that does not count. It is not important here in qualifying 2. Look at the top 3 times, extremely close. Q3 CRL driver, and with the names absolute beautiful on top, but unfortunately, as you said already, Jacko, Riordan, Quick Killer, Christopher, and Wild Dog just about missed it. So close. P10 and P11. Fortunately, between Gautier and Leffelon, Gautier just about was able to kick Wild Dog out of the Q3. Gautier P10, Marconi P9, AFL P8, Rory Huntsman just behind KXI, the 3 British guys here, P6 up to P8, Leon, German guy, and Muscles P3, P4, but we have Nacho, Fandango, and Murphy are extremely close, all with a 30.0. Wow, let's take a breather. And what do you think? What can we expect from the qualifying 3 session bump here?
Well, it is gonna be very tough to predict, especially if the rain is gonna kick in. One invalidation can mean the difference between, well, a pole time or just P10. But as I say that, it is sunny again in the south of France, so it probably looks like a full dry qualifying session here, luckily for our drivers. But the top 3 of Q2 definitely have the best papers to go into that pole position. The only drivers to get into the 30.0s. So I'm expecting one of them 3 to go and grab that pole position, but maybe the dark horse of Leon, of course, was strong in qualifying last week, took the win last week in Australia. So I'm expecting him to not go down without a fight, at the very least. Maybe even sneaking his Red Bull in that top 3 amongst the fight for the pole position. And the Red Bulls both into Q3 as both Williams as well. Definitely interesting to see what they can do.
Oh, definitely. You are 100% correct there. I'm thrilled to see the next session here in Q3, but I am also thrilled to see the beauty of the game. And why don't we sit back and enjoy the outlap from the Williams of Mazzles and his beginning of his first flying lap. We're gonna mute ourselves. Guys, this is your opportunity to quickly grab a drink, get your popcorn out, text your friends, share the YouTube link, and let us know down in the comments who you are supporting for, and we'll be right back. Here we are once back again with Mazzle, currently on a very right. The sound of the Williams. We are going to start the first time with a 30.4. That is not too far off the better times that we saw in last session. Very, very good start here for Messels, putting a safe time on the block. And we have, is that Nacho, I think, next one out? I do believe so. Let's have a look what time he can put down to the scoreboard first now in the very last and 15th turn here in France. Coming across the line, it is a 31.06 behind. I have a Haas driver from McConey P3 at this time, and Leon 30.9 currently on E2. Very, very good looking for Mazel and for Leon as well. Both drivers are far away. In the front, we have another Red Bull driver as well of AFL, but starting a little bit safer on the 31.0. So Mazel's very, very impressive here in early stage of qualifying 3. Let's see who is out on track. I think the next one is going to be KXI, and the other driver ahead might be on an in-lap, and I think that is correct as well. KXI now coming around the last turn using the curb on the left hand side to get a little bit earlier on the throttle to activate DRS, and his time is the 31.0. 4 drivers have no time just yet. Murphy, Warrior Huntsman, Fandango and Gautier Lefalong, all of them are still out on track. It is definitely a very good strategy if you like to be a bit more safe, if you want to have your opponents warming up the track for you, just leaving a little bit more rubber on tracks from the tire degradation, and that will increase your grip. And talking about increasing the time on the scoreboard, the current and provisional pole position from Leon is at the moment 30.1. A very good time, 3/10 quicker. And I think AFL, is he gonna go into the pit? Yeah, he is. So he's gonna try to go once again. But very, very impressive here from the driver who won last race in Australia. X Leon 1X. Very, very impressive start here. You will be able to beat the time and go once again into the 0, or are we gonna see the first 29s? Very, very soon we will find out.
Yeah, we definitely will. Hopefully, of course. Probably a lot of people just getting their bankers in, putting a safe lap time on the board so they can push on their second run. Warrior Huntsman and Gautier Lefalon now out of the pit, going out of sync with everyone else to get their lap times in. Probably just wanting to do one in the middle and a lap right at the end, just to get the nice good track in on both runs. Of course, the track evolving at every minute that a car is out on track in qualifying here.
Every minute the track is changing a little bit warmer, the track temperature is increasing, more drivers out on track warming up the tires. The outlap is just over for Gautier Lefalong. A beautiful, beautiful green car on this blue and red track in France, and extremely close. How did he not invalidate that turn on the exit, I wonder. And once again, extremely close of invalidation, and just throwing this car around this turn. And in sector 1, Fandango is taking a small break here, and that is just a little bit confusing. And he is spinning out. He needs to go straight back into the box.
On there.
Maybe just too bit too ambitious on the throttle there. Fortunately, he needs to go again.
He definitely does. Fandango there, he is disconnected, but his car is still on track. It's stationary, so that can be very distracting for our drivers who approach that long right-hander, that you really don't want to go too early on the power, because we saw it with Gautier Lefalon. You can easily lose traction, and put the car in the wall, of course. The Aston Martin just keeping it out of the barriers, keeping it intact, can go for another run, maybe even into the pit, fit on a fresh set of soft tires, and going on the last few minutes. Brand new set of soft tires, the best track, the best tires, optimal conditions.
Absolutely optimal conditions, but far from optimal. Very, very unlucky for Fandango. It's a quite confusing bug. Hopefully the drivers are not gonna get too confused here in Sector 1 beginning Sector 2. Might be staying exactly on... Yeah, he is bugged exactly between Sector 1 and Sector 2, but Warrior Huntsman has
Retired in the pit lane.
retired.
He probably didn't think he was gonna get another lap time, so he just threw the towel in the ring and gave up there. That's watching Murphy very close to invalidating there on turn 9. On the inside, you really want to get a lot of the curb, but of course not too much. It's easy to invalidate. Going purple in Sector 2. Can he improve his time from Q2? Can he go into the 29s, and can he go on provisional pole here? Just rounding now, turn 11. Difficult turn, getting a late apex here. Missing the curb there, especially what you want to do. It's looking like a very good lap here from the AlphaTauri. But his teammate of course knocked out in Q2. Can he keep the hopes alive from the Red Bull's sister team to get a good result here in France? Going across the line now, can he go into the 29s? No, he just about can't. It's a 30.4, just slots in right behind Mazzles with under half a tenth, but he is going again, so it won't be the last we see from Murphy there. McConey as well on his penultimate run, penultimate try, going into P4, a 30.7, definitely wanting to improve on that time, but currently P4, that's not bad at all. KXI cutting the first turn a lot, didn't invalidate though, so that's very good to see from him. Starting his lap, got the 11 on coming across the line. The only one who didn't set a lap yet, he goes into P8, 32.0, so a second off of P7, but he definitely can improve on that, I'm very sure. Nacho now starting his lap along with Mazzles, but that's AFL, the next one to improve his lap time, already a 10th up through Sector 2.
Looking very promising. Got here, live long. I just caught him as well out of the exit of the last turn. He was a little bit too ambitious on the throttle. So unfortunate for the driver in the Aston Martin. But we have a Red Bull approaching the line of AFL, and he improved his time by... Is that like fancy? He definitely improved by one position. Definitely very strong. P4 at the moment.
P4 at the moment, but Murphy, of course, he can't get AFL knocked down, but he is improving 3 tenths. Can he go into the pole? No, he just can't. It's a 30.1, it's only 600s away from Leon, who is looking very likely to get a good result here. McConey just beating AFL, going onto P4. KXI now coming across the final turn. I didn't clock his Sector 2 time, but he hasn't invalidated, so can he do something good? Yes, he can. Onto P3, that is. And there, it's the Red Bull of Leon. He is still improving. Can he go into the 29s? Yes,
Whoa!
he can.
Extremely impressive. What a lap indeed. That is the first 29 and a 29.77. Very, very impressive here from Leon, the last race winner. We have Mazzles now just behind his teammate. Or is that... No, it is Nacho just improved his time up to P5, and Mazzles did improve as well. Not too sure which position. Is it P3?
He went up into P2.
Oh yes, it is P2. I can see on the Williams display. Mazzles just behind, and it is official. The second 29.997 just behind, with 2 tenths behind pole position sitter Leon of his Red Bull, his rival. Very, very close here in the top 2. Murphy behind an P3 start. KXI P4. The McLaren driver is just ahead of Alpine of Nacho. McConey Haas just putting his Haas in front of the AFL Red Bull. Got here Live Long in Aston Martin, and we do have our 2 driver, Warrior Huntsman and Fandango, who are, by the way, 2 of our drivers that we were talking before the stream about to keep an eye out, and they are both starting P9 and P10. Wow, that is...
Fandango though got very unlucky with his connection. I don't know if he... Well, there he goes. He has joined, but he got disqualified for, well, his AI just staying on track. But going into the race now, Warrior Huntsman didn't get a lap in. And Leon, as I said, don't count him out. He is very fast with that 29.7. He really showed his pace here and his ambition to win the title here, of course.
Absolutely. And I think every other driver was pushing as far and as much as they could. For some driver, they had a penalty. Some driver were a little bit unlucky. We did see a very, very weird bug as well, unfortunately, with a car bugging out of sector 1 and 2. But we are very, very excited to jump into the start of this race. And Bumpy, you were the weather clown already in qualifying, if I may say so. But look around, the clouds are getting a little bit grey. What do you think? Is it gonna rain anytime soon?
Well, I got the message in the chat that it indeed was going to rain towards the end of the race. But looking at the clouds, maybe it can come a bit sooner even. Of course, with this game you never know, and Jeff as well, he's a bit clueless sometimes, so that can spice things up a bit. Yeah, looking at the clouds, the rain is probably not too far out.
Play just across the hills section. In the distance that we can see, the driver are just setting up everything, but we are about to go on our formation lap. Red Bull just in front of a Williams driver are deciding the pace. I get very, very excited here for 5 lights to go out. Leon is leading the pack. Let's see what tires we have currently out on track, and it's looking very, very colorful. Of course, we have our top 10 on the soft tires, and we have just 5 drivers. Well, we have exactly half and half from 11 to 20. We have 5 drivers on medium, and we have 5 drivers out on hard. What is your opinion about the hard tires here in France?
The hard tires definitely, they can do a very solid job if you use them correctly, but I don't know if it's the right call. Of course, we don't have the forecast for the session. If the rain is gonna come at the end, maybe they can extend their hearts onto the rain, go on the one stop, catch the soft runners a bit napping when they have to stop and the hard runners don't. But the fact that 5 guys outside of the top 10 have opted to go onto the hard tires, it does tell me that the rain is coming at the end of the race and not in the first few laps, at least what the forecast was saying. This Mezels is having a bit of a differential there, off track and going for a spin. Very interesting way to heat the tires up there in turn 11. But of course it can work, but he is disqualified there for going off track, so his tires will be very gold at the start. Definitely something to keep an eye on. Maybe Murphy, KXI, Nacho, the guys in behind there, can profit off of him having cold tires.
Only the temperature for the tires are very, very important here, because they're going to be locked in as soon as you spin out, as soon as you be disqualified, or as soon as you are about to reach the point where the AI takes over to line up your car for you on the beautiful shot here. All drivers lining up, and now, ladies and gentlemen, Here we go. All the preparation, the entire qualifying was for this race. Let's see how it goes. I can't even see lights. There we go. 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights on. And it's lights out, and away we go. And we have straight away 4 time penalties. We have 4 drive-throughs for 3 of them top 3. Very, very unfortunate. These drivers have to push extremely. We have as well a yellow flag in sector 1. I think that's Fandango. It's just...
And Fandango, indeed. Fandango is Ghost and Mezzos lifted to let everyone by. Nacho having a spin there at the end of turn 2 as well. But at the lead, it is indeed 3 time penalties, of 3 drive-through penalties for our top 3. So they all jump the start. And it's gonna cost a lot of time there for those star drivers.
Gonna cost a lot of time, and we have some battles as well on. We have 3 white. Is it a 4 white? No, they're not gonna go 4 white. Hedgehog is just in the middle here. Grego, they're all fighting for P11. Let's jump onto the board of the Merc driver, pushing a lot of ERS, approaching the very, very fast right-hander of turn 10. Grego's going very wide, leaving enough space and making sure to leave enough space. Beautiful to see from all the drivers. That was a lot of action at an early stage, and we have Mark Wilson straight away going for a move around the outside. Will the Williams driver be able to make it around the outside? And it does. Just still side by side. It is Merc against Williams, and it is hard tire against medium tire. And you like to see, and we have many people as well going into the pits here, you normally like to see the medium tire to come out ahead, but very, very close battle here from the early stage. But let's have a look at the top, at the front. We have all the drivers have pitted straight away to get rid of their drive-through penalty, and it might be... What's your opinion? Would you like to take the drive-through penalty early, or would you wait for 3 laps?
I'll definitely go in immediately, because if there's a safety car coming out at KSI, coming out of the pit, cold tires, he has gone for a little spin. Of course, not damaging his front wing luckily, but very unfortunate start from the McLaren driver there, getting a drive-through penalty, probably getting caught out by some drivers just jumping the start, and that is your reaction to them. Leon now really creating a gap at the front. But coming back to your question, definitely you really want to serve him as soon as possible, because if there is a safety car in lap 2 and lap 3, you can't serve your drive-through under a safety car, and if there's a safety car, you of course can catch up again. As we saw Quick Killer and Riordan having a little bit of a battle there, and Christopher going down the inside actually of Quick Killer there in turn 12. That's a very good move from the Mercedes driver, still going side by side though, but Christopher has managed to pull that off. That's a very impressive move from him. But now Quick Killer doesn't give up so easily, getting the better traction maybe out of the last turn, but it just looks like Christopher is gonna make that move stuck. But now Quick Killer, with the help of ERS, is gonna pull alongside the Mercedes driver, going side to side into turn 1, both giving each other enough space to lift. But as I say, that Christopher hits Quick Killer there in the side pod, and he goes for a spin. So that's the Mercedes driver tumbling down the order there.
Very, very unfortunate, but a beautiful battle that we have witnessed between the Aston Martin and the Mercedes driver. We saw some switchbacks, some dive as well, but everything within the lines. That is beautiful. What we see here in sector 1 is looking promising so far. Someone Tip Top is just behind Hedgehog. Have the people are pushing a lot with ERS, and I think there's another battle closer to the front. Well, good here. LeFlon keeping an eye on him. He's just behind AFL. Both drivers are losing a lot of time to Leon, as you mentioned. So Leon is looking very, very strong at the front. Riordan is getting very, very close as well. But at the same time, Tomo Tiptop is putting a lot of pressure onto Hedgehog. We have some medium tire battles here out. It's down to them to see and to decide how much they want to push, because the more they push, the more they get rid of the tires and it's getting a bit more complicated and tricky to drive. Fandango and Miman Moody had a small battle, and still I have it, I think. We have Miman Moody now behind Fandango. Very, a lot of battling here going on in the first part of the race. Keeping an eye on Leon, of course, with AFL just behind. Very strong performance here for Red Bull. P1 and P2.
It's very strong, and maybe AFL can help Leon just extend that gap as much as possible, holding back both Aston Martins, who are in P3 and P4, so the top 4, only 2 teams there. Very strong showing from both outfits there. And looking at the tire, P5 to P8, all on hard tires, as Tomo Tiptop has crashed, coming out of turn 5 that is, and it's a safety car. So all the good work that Leon has just put in, pulling that 3-second gap, has gone to smithereens. Just all vanishes there, just before us. I can't do anything about it. But as we have a little bit of a breather now, let's look at the position change. And Mark Wilson, starting last, having that qualifying ban, already up to 7th position, making up 13 places on those hard tires. At the first couple of laps, Wild Dog, Riordan and Craigo all joining him on the hard tires, all having very good starts and looking very strong for this race. But now with the safety car, of course, they can't pit onto fresh hard tires, so maybe they will stay out, go into the rain. The top guys are pitting, at least Leon is and AFL is, so that's double stack. They fixed it a bit in a last update, so it won't cost that much time for the second Red Bull driver, but still not the ideal scenario for him. The top 3 all going into the pit. Quick Killer staying out on his medium tires. Of course, the soft runners opting to pit. It's probably the best thing to do. It's Murphy speeds into the pit lane, so he is having a very unlucky race so far. But the hard runners of Riordan, Wild Dog, Mark Wilson and Quago looking very good so far.
Looking very good, and as you mentioned as well, like we experienced last game, we did see a lot of difficulties with double stacking, but it's amazing to see this bug being fixed now, and Leon did not lose a lot of time at all. Of course he did lose 1 position behind Gautier, live along now, but beautiful to see the game is not giving you or forcing you to lose 30 seconds as we just experienced as well. Tomo Tiptop unfortunately leaving the session. Very unfortunate for the driver. We still have his teammate, other McLaren, out on track, as well as 4 Muzzles. Very unfortunate Monday for him. But we see a few drivers who stayed out, of course, on the hard tires. Now Craigo, Wilson, Wild Dog, Riordan, and on medium 4-lap old tires, Quick Killer is currently leading the pace.
Definitely wondering if those mediums can make it to the rain. If they can, I think Quick Killer is in a very good position to at least get a podium here if there's nothing crazy happening, which of course it always can. Fandango, I think, has gone for a spin once again. Has some damage on that front wing. I don't know if he is continuing. Well, as I said, it was his AI who put it in the wall. It's very bizarre what's happening here with the game and the connection of Fandango. Unfortunately, the only one who really isn't catching up to the pack, with some penalties as well, getting to the drivers, AFL and Hedgehog and Murphy, now all with a 5-second penalty. Of course, Murphy sped in the pit lane. For the others, it is because of a safety car. Jacko is coming into the pit lane. I wonder if he is going to the hard tires.
Very beautiful as well to see. I took a little moment here to enjoy this beautiful Aston Martin 0.5 as in the safety car leading, and the Aston Martin of Quick Killer just behind, both in the same livery. Just a little extra touch there. Aston Martin with all 2.5 cars out on track. Beautiful, that little moment. But we saw many people are having to pit for some damage, other had to pit for some drive-through penalties. Very, very exciting. A lot happened, and once again, Fandango, yeah, I think that was just a straight through, and that is live on stream. Of course, he has no front wing, but that does not give you the permission at all to cut the curb completely. Yes, he has red wing, but that is not fair towards the others. You have to stay between the two lines, otherwise you will get a penalty. And he did a 10 seconds time penalty. Fandango, unfortunate for him. But very, very soon we're going to look into a safety car restart with this lap. Let's see if Fandango is going to go and continue the race. If anything like this happens to you guys, I can absolutely recommend stay calm. The race is far from over. It is easy to have 2 safety cars, and I assumed that he was going to retire, and he is. Unfortunately, Fandango out of the race. 17 drivers remaining, and 1 Aston Martin is giving the other Aston Martin now the permission to decide the pace. Quick killer now ahead of Walter, Mark Will, Prego, all trying to hunt him down on the hard tires.
Indeed, it is the retirement of Fandango there causing the safety car to go in the pit lane with the field now all bounced up. Let's see if Quickiller on those, of course, better tires can pull the gap on the guys behind him, and if he can, it's gonna be very good. He really wants to get a good exit out of the last corner, and he had it. Riordan is pretty close, but Wild Dog is caught napping. He's almost out of that 1 second range already, just out of the safety car reset. Marconi has gone past Murphy on the safety car reset as well, so that's the only move I think I can see happening. But Hedgehog here now is going past Craigo. As we see in the background, it is his teammate of Christopher spinning around after turn 2. So while one Mercedes is making up a place, the other one lost out and is now in last place, unluckily.
Very, very impressive move there from Hedgehog onto Craigo. That was live on stream. Craigo just lost a little bit of his pace by taking a slightly deeper line and broke a little bit too late on turn 1, but Leon is putting a lot of pressure here once again on Craigo. Really wants to get past him, and he does around the outside. Beautiful overtake from Leon. What happened?
Just further back, it is Gauthier Leflon and Mina Moody going side to side, and Gauthier Leflon got tagged, is round, and I saw a lot of debris on track. I don't really know exactly who it was, but there are a few front wings currently on track. I think Nacho and Rory Huntsman are 2 of the drivers that have lost some of their front wing. They're definitely going into the pits, and that has caused another safety car, of course, with so many front wings lying on the track.
We haven't had a full lap after the first safety car. Unfortunate that we see so many safety cars, which is just killing the pace of the race. But it is a great opportunity to every single driver, whatever damage you have, to stay out and keep fighting. It is important. It is for your experience. And we did see Fandango, of course, with a red front wing, and he did leave the session. Unfortunately, that would have been a great opportunity for him to make up places. Fortunately, another safety car. So we're gonna go around the track in 100 km/h once again with another Aston Martin 1-2 and another racing Aston Martin 13. Cake size picking up another 5-second time penalty. So we will be able to calculate all the time penalties together at the very end, as I love to do. Let's see how high we can go, but not a lot happening at the moment. Maybe we'll see 1-2 laps and a safety car.
We probably will once Mima Moody has caught up to the field, but all this safety car, it probably means that the rain is gonna come a bit earlier in the race. Of course, with the safety car, the laps are ticking by slower than they usually would, and that it means more time in the rain, so more time for the track to get wetter, to go on the intermediate tires maybe. And of course also for the boys here on the medium tires, they can maybe stretch it towards the rain a lot easier now. With 2 safety cars really helps to conserve your tires. Not use them as much as you would in a racing distance. Of course you have to keep temperature in them. That costs a little bit of rubber from the tires. But it's looking very likely for those guys in the mediums to maybe be able to stretch it towards the rain.
Definitely, it's looking very promising here. We have a very interesting mixture. If the rain comes a little bit too late, I'm not too sure how many laps we can see here on the medium tires. Maybe you are better informed than I am here, Bumpier, but we have a 7-lap old medium tires ahead, and on P1, P5 Hedgehog on a 7-lap old medium tires, but then behind we have Leon. He will definitely be able to, well, more likely be able to get down until the rain comes. We don't know when just yet. We don't have Jeff, unfortunately, but we will see. The top 6 looking very interesting here.
Of course, as you're saying, the medium tires, I think in normal racing distance you can stretch them to 20 laps maybe if you really look after them. So now with the safety car situation, probably over 20 laps you can do on those medium tires. Quicker, almost approaching the halfway point there. But if there is rain around lap 20 and the track is ready to go onto the intermediates on lap 24 maybe, I think on mediums you can be able to make it. But it's gonna be a very big gamble, if that is the case of course, to stay out on the mediums.
Definitely a big gamble, and 20 laps on the medium is possible. But question is, do you want to maybe lose a bit time? You want to be safe, or do you want to push? Do you want to make up positions? Do you want to use your ERS to put your car a little bit further ahead of your rivals, which will decrease the amount of laps here for medium tires? So there's a lot going on for the drivers out on track currently. All of them are beautifully warming up their tires. It is very important to get back onto racing temperature of around 80 to 90 degrees Celsius before we are going to back into racing, and we will very soon. Now, once again, the first Aston Martin, this safety car is in Quick Killer once again on 8 laps old medium, is restarting the race now. Let's see, are we gonna see once again Quick Killer and Riordan getting away from Wild Dog, or is Wild Dog now able to be a little bit closer? Good first start. Let's watch the next start, and it is a big gap already. Wild Dog is losing.
Wild Dog, he wasn't close really to Riordan at any moment of sector 3, and Quick Killer opted to go very early, so Mark Wilson now has run on the Ferrari driver of Wild Dog for P3, but Wild Dog brakes very late, keeps that position, but already more than 2 seconds separating himself and P3, as Mark Wilson get a very good exit down the inside there once again with the Ferrari driver, and he makes the move stick. So that's a position gained for that Alpine. Very good race start for him.
Absolutely, extremely good for him. And how cheeky that was once again. Oh, we see Leon here just getting out of shape a little bit. But his tires are still fine. He's using some ERS to get back onto the back of Hedgehog, but he's looking very promising for Leon. We definitely going to keep an eye on him. But once again, a very good restart from Quick Killer. He has definitely trained a lot, and I think we have a lot of battling as well going on with Warrior Huntsman. Is coming into the inside line of turn 10 and is taking the position from Christopher, the Mercedes driver. Is he gonna push back? He's leaving the space. Warrior Huntsman is just staying in the middle, perfectly positioned his car. Beautiful overtake. You absolutely love to see it. And I think we're gonna see another overtake here on the straight of Leon. if he's able to prepare his car. But you know, Hedgehog, he's a very, very ambitious and quick driver. He is definitely not going to leave a lot of space for the Red Bull behind. Don't even know where to go because we have a lot of battles now. KXI against Gautier, live along. KXI broke a little bit late there, is sacrificing his line and is losing 2 positions. 2 positions for the McLaren driver, Warrior Huntsman and Gautier, both making up the position and putting themselves ahead of KXI. Crucifix is diving into the inside of KXI. He has to really defend his position, and is he going to be able to defend once again? Wow, he's really on back foot, isn't he?
It looks like it, as I was mainly watching the battle here between Leon and Hedgehog, as Leon goes a bit alongside Hedgehog, but Hedgehog made a mistake in sector 1, as we see a spinner there of Jacko in the dual chicken. That's very unlucky for him. Goes into the back of the grid. But Leon really pushing Hedgehog through these few corners in front here, and there it's the Alfa Romeo of Rory Huntsman in a very odd place to crash out, but he is out of the race. I think he made contact with someone. I don't know what happened, but he is very close to the track as Jacko and Mima Mooney going alongside, making a bit of contact. Mima Mooney goes off track, but still stays in front of Jacko as DRS now gets enabled. So that will make life easier for the likes of Leon, who is very close on the back of Hedgehog. And speaking of drivers who are very close at the back of someone, AFL looking to maybe overtake Gregor, and McConey and Murphy just lurking in the background to see what they can do. Leon now getting a very good exit out of turn 2 on the inside of turn 3 and turn 4, and he makes the move stick there. But now Hedgehog does have the DRS, maybe he can fight back.
Definitely a good opportunity here for him. He's getting the DRS opportunity for him to save some ERS. Maybe Leon just mismanaged his overtake, but AFL is pushing a lot here onto Krago and Hedgehog. Is this going to be a battle between Krago and Hedgehog? But no, Hedgehog is breaking very late this race, and he's just about to lose the car, and very, very good catch from Hedgehog. Now all the way down to P10, Murphy and McConey and AFL were both all able to take their position for free, but important catch from Hedgehog, still in the race, and nothing is lost. McConey is very close as well to AFL. The Red Bull driver is under a lot of pressure. Same time, the Ferrari ahead of him, currently battling for P6.
Definitely our Krago just about losing the DRS there of Leon, was really catching Wild Dog as well on the fresher mediums. McConey now makes a bit of a mistake. Murphy dives down the inside of the last corner. McConey got a very good exit, manages to defend that position, but further back Nacho is making moves on Christopher. Of course, very big difference between the tire life, as the Alpine has got very fresh set of medium tires, and Wild Dog maybe making amends for his poor safety car restart on the back of Mark Wilson. Will get that DRS, of course, but he has got a bit of a poor run out of turn 7, so I don't think he's gonna be close enough. Maybe further back in the train for the battle of P6. We see AFL really closing up now to Krago. Of course, Krago doesn't have the DRS of the German Red Bull in front of him, but he still manages to stay ahead at Hedgehog, loses another position on Gautier Lefelon, so it's really not going well for him the last few laps.
There's a lot of battling going on. We have Wild Dog very, very close to Mark Wilson. Both drivers are under 10% already, which gives Leon a great opportunity to really close down the lap and the time here. I noticed that he started when he took the overtake on Krago. He was on 8 seconds difference, and now he's 0.1 seconds. He's making up some good time on the 8-lap-old medium tires. But the biggest question is, when is the rain going to come? We have 4 drivers on 13 laps old tires out ahead. And White Dog has a great opportunity on Mark Wilson. Is just waiting a little bit further. If I was in his position, wait for the DRS. Save a little bit more ERS because you're already flashing and the race is far from over. Leon now, is he going to be able to get the DRS here? Leon, is he going to miss it? Is 1/10 and I think he's just about missing it. So close. Yeah, he did miss it. Extremely close and saving his ERS. Wow, so many battles.
As I saw, there are the first few drops as Wildlook overtake Mark Wilson. It is starting to rain, so I definitely think the track is going to be intermediate condition at some point in this race. That will give an extra dimension of interesting to this competition as McConey goes down the inside of AFL into turn 10. Very audacious place to make a move. Still going side to side. AFL with a very good defense round the outside there. Just had a lot more confidence with his tires to sweep round the outside of the Haas driver in the long sweeping right-hander there.
Does look like a little bit that McConey is ghosting behind the AFL. I'm not too sure, and yeah, he is actually. I'm not too sure what another bug that is that we are experiencing, but we are here for the racing, we are here for the battles, and as he said, the rain is coming down, so it's all down to the drivers to pick the perfect pit time. When is the track going to be impossible to drive on slick, aka dry tires? Leon is in P5 now, very close to Wild Dog. Is he gonna be able to make maybe double overtake here, or at least take the Ferrari here with the DRS? If he gets a great exit, does get a little bit better exit than Ferrari, but both are pushing with ERS not to lose any position. But Leon is closing in. He has more ERS and he's going on the inside to turn number 8 onto White Dog. Leon and White Dog. White Dog is unfortunately one out, but still caught his car and is still on track. Close battling here.
Definitely is, as Wild Dog now looking to rejoin. It's a very unfortunate incident, of course. In the dual chicken, it is hard to go side by side with the nature of the corner there. Just getting a bit caught out, as we see KXI as well getting caught out in that fast turn 11, and he is into the wall at a very high speed. Just that is the effect of the rain coming down. So
Safety car.
Throttle
Safety car.
Turn 10, but just wasn't about to make it. It's Riordan just at the pit entry. He dives into the pit. Quick killer just missed it. It was a bit too late for him. Mark Wilson as well stays out. It is interesting to see, does Riordan, does Leon go onto the intermediate tires, or will they maybe fit on a new set of soft tires? And it's Inters for the Red Bull and for the Alfa Romeo as well, but is it too early for those intermediate tires? It will be very interesting to see that.
Definitely, I would love to hear Jeff now. I would assume that it might get worse for the rain right now, and it is a perfect timing for the safety car to come out, because you just need to be easy and take it carefully with your fresh Inters now on, still not too wet racing track. Still dry out there, so take it easy for the safety car, but it looks like everyone is changing onto Inters. Might be the tire to go. And Riordan is all the way in P6. Where did he come from? He came out of nowhere. No, ahead. Leon is behind him, and we have Mean Man Moody, or previously Mean Man Moody, now FRL Mean Moody. You love to see it when more and more drivers from Cone Racing League are joining esports teams now. Mean Man Moody is in FRL. Beautiful to see, as well as the CRL ahead of the names. It is just beautiful to be in this big community. A absolutely big shout out to absolute every single viewer, every single person who is supporting the channel, every single person who is just commentating, is just sitting there on their couch, on their chair, on the bed, or wherever you sit, maybe on the floor as well, you never know. But thank you so much for joining in, thank you so much for supporting. We have a third and another safety car, but don't go anywhere, because this race is gonna go down to the wire, is wet on track. We have Quick Killer now going into the pit as well. Everyone else on slick, I would assume as well, but no, it is once again, we have seen this a couple of times before, Mark Wilson is staying out, as well as AFL and Gautier left along on slick tires. Wow. The question: what kind of rain are we going to see now? Is this maybe a 5 minutes rain? Is it not going to become any worse? Is slick tires the one to go? Is this a mistake from the front top 3? Or is Jeff just helping them, or just told them something entirely different than the other, let me quickly count, 12 drivers? We see a lot of green.
Indeed a very good question. I don't think the track is ready for Inters just yet, but maybe the drivers on the Inters made the right strategy call, of course, pitting under the safety car, already caught up to the back of those slick runners. And they, I assume in the next 10 laps, the track is going to be wet enough for those Inter tires. And Riordan with a very good strategy now, climb up already 10 positions, starting P14. Up into P4, I think he has the net race lead. So if he can pull this off, it is gonna be a very amazing drive from him.
Wow, we can see as well the partner from Mark Wilson in the chat, and supporting and panicking a little bit here for Mark Wilson. He is taking the gamble, and Nathan is adding as well as AFL and Gautier. Wow, everyone else is paying attention to the top 3 boys. Or maybe did you want to stay out on track behind the safety car for a little bit longer to have a little bit fresher Inter tires? What is the strategy? What is going through the minds from the top 3 boys? I'm very sure that we'll see it very soon. It does not look like that the safety car is in any moment. So if the cars are staying out on track, I would be very surprised. Mark Wilson is staying out, AFL is staying out as well as Gautier left along. We cannot see the tires at the rain getting any worse, but we will see it very, very soon. 10 laps to go. Let's have a quick look on the penalties. We have AFL P2, an 8 seconds time penalty, Nacho a 3 seconds time penalty, Mean Man Moody aka FRL Mean Moody P13 6 seconds time penalty. Jacko is going into the pit as well, 3 seconds time penalty. So we don't have too many time penalties towards the end of the race. We did get enough already at the very, very start of the race. It is good to see that the time penalties are decreasing and every driver can focus on just driving and overtaking.
And they definitely will need that
Look
focus,
at Jacko.
of course, with the track getting wetter. The track currently, I dare to say, it is still.
Look
right
at
for
Jacko's
the dry
tire.
tires.
We have Jacko on soft. He pitted to go on soft tires. What does Jeff tell the drivers that we don't know?
He probably tells a lot. I think the track currently definitely not ready for intermediate. But of course, if the rain continues to be like this, it is gonna be intermediate conditions in a couple of laps time. And if the dry runners, of course with Mark Wilson on the hard as well, it's gonna be very tough to warm those tires up. 17 lap old hards in the rain. It is gonna be very big struggle for him to get it home and cross the finish line. Of course he has to pit still. That is one thing that is certain. Mark Wilson hasn't gone into the pit lane yet. So does he go onto the soft tires towards the end, or is it intermediate for him at the end? one thing is certain, the top 3 will need to put a gap between the rest of the field to justify this staying out.
Absolutely, and a lot of sweat is coming down in the chat as well, and that is nervous sweat drops here for the top 3. We do see as well Jack Bowie had a quick chat with Mark and is asking him, are you gonna do a big Jarno Opmi move, as we can see him now a restart up to in front of AFL, a good start. We can see a little confusion for the scoreboard, but it is a good start so far that we see. Some battling as well, McConey and Craigo changing a position here, and a 1.1 gap already to P3. The question is, Mark said it's not dry and not wet enough so far. What is Jacko doing? He's improving.
The main thing I found very interesting, Riordan, he was the lead intermediate runner. He has changed to the medium tires, so he has lost a lot of time there. Don't know if that's the right strategy goal. We can see now Leon, he is really fast.
Jacko is so quick. Sorry to interrupt you there, Christopher. Spun out. Is this another safety car? We hope not. Is it just going to be a virtual safety car maybe? But Jacko is extremely quick, and I do think that many drivers made a mistake going on intermediates. Jacko going around the outside of 2 cars. What a move! It is definitely slick tires. A 3 seconds gap here. Every single intermediate tires have to pit here if the rain is going to stay. We see, I do think that the drops here are increasing slightly. It might be just something visual, but Jacko is absolutely on fire. He's making up so many positions. He started, what was it, P13, now preparing another mood as well on another 2 drivers. What a lap! Jacko is just easily driving around. It's like there are no cars at all on track. Is late braking. Jacko already up to P5 behind Leon. What a guy. What a race. And now on the acceleration. Is he gonna get Leon as well? And we do have some drivers spinning around. That is unfortunate. That must be a safety car. It's a virtual safety car. People need to pit. No one is pitting. This race.
They all already went past pit lane, but Jacko, he made moves. Very solid lap for him. It's some overtakes there were just
mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing. What a move that was. But it's still, the race isn't over. Maybe the track will get so wet that the guys in the top 4 now, all on dry tires, maybe they will struggle towards the end. And then it's for Leon, Nacho and Wild, the quick killer as well. All for grabs for them. If the race is gonna get wetter, but there, our lead driver Mark Wilson, he sped under the virtual safety car and he has a drive-through penalty as well. Oh, that's a disaster for him.
That is very unfortunate for him. Mark Wilson, he was out there, he was on the right strategy, assuming that the rain is not getting any worse. But unfortunately, he is getting a drive-through penalty on old 19 lap old hard tires. That must feel so bad, so unfortunate for him. Just speeding a little bit under the virtual safety car. Maybe the restart is just a little bit too early. But that gives AFL once again the opportunity to make up good time. And Jacko, what an incredible 1 lap pace he had.
It was ridiculous, but I can see now on the track there are some wet patches that started to form. The DRS is enabled, so still is dry time. But there are wet patches starting to form. I think towards the end the Inter's gonna be very fast, but maybe it's gonna be too late for those wet tires. Mark Wilson really is in a very bad position now with the drive-through. He still has to pit, so he has to visit the pit lane twice at a minimum for the rest of this race. Really unlucky for him. He was in a great position to maybe see out a very good point scoring position, but of course still points on the table for him with only 13 drivers still in contention and points giving out to the top 15. So as long as he doesn't crash out, still points for him. The track is getting wetter and wetter at every moment, really starting to see those wet patches forming now ever so slightly as Wild Dog makes moves on Nacho with that penalty. A quick killer wanted to stick his nose down the inside as well, but just felt the better of it. The gap to the leader as well, Wild Dog 14 seconds to Mark Wilson, but he has to serve his drive-through and go into the pit lane, so that's gonna be very tough for him. Jacko though on those soft tires is still flying. Riordan as well on dry tires is making up some positions. I'd say Jacko right now is absolutely the fastest man on track, but Leon isn't losing that much time anymore. I think we are right at the crossover now, with a few laps maybe until the inters get better.
I have mixed feelings here for this race. It is absolutely incredible to see the different tires that we have out on track at the moment. Jacko is in a really good position here. Let's have a quick look onto the penalties. Jacko and Gautier have both 3 seconds of time penalties. This is gonna be a very interesting race. On the other side we see way better tires. We did see earlier DRS is being enabled, so assumingly the rain is gonna get less and less. Let's have a look here on Jacko. Should get the DRS around the outside. Such a beautiful move, impressive. And we have the DRS for Gautier left along. Is he gonna be able to push back here? He is indeed. Beautiful battle here. Is this gonna be a DRS battle? Oh, very close. Jacko as well. I'm wondering, are we gonna see all the drivers now going into the pit because they were not able to go into the pit last lap? Leon is just losing a little bit of time, but not anymore with the two guys battling, and you would be able to get way quicker on soft tires. Now let's have a look and wait until drivers making their way around the track, and Jacko once again taking another driver and showing him his rear end plate, and what a catch as well here. Jacko now taking P1 out on track, and we have a disqualification. Well, we have a retirement from Riordan, and it's a safety car. Jacko read it perfectly. Jacko went straight into the pit. Was it random?
It's definitely time for intermediates. It is. But now with Jacko and Gautier, they both have penalties, as I saw as well. Wild Dog and Hedgehog, they both were in very good positions. Both didn't have any time penalties on those intermediate tires, but now they picked them up. So Quickler and Murphy, with it keeping clean on intermediate tires, they are on for a podium here. Very solid race from them.
We can see this as well here in the chat. We have MF Underboss as well saying Inters by lap 23 by the looks of it. Mark has been saved. Absolutely. What a lucky another safety car. This is the 4th safety car that we see. Makoni is on soft tires. He's assumingly going to the box as well, and no, he's staying out. We do have 2, and both of them are Haas driver who stay on stick. Very interesting. Is going towards the end.
Big gamble. I think the track now is well enough for the intermediate tires. At least it is right about the same. But yeah, Riordan getting very loosey, probably on the rear end in turn 10. It's very tricky to nail that turn in the wet conditions, of course. Usually flat out in dry, with dry tires. Wet track, not so much. Really have to feel your way around the track. But I think Leon is in the very best position. Of course in P1, with no penalties as well. On intermediate tires, I dare to put money on him now to win this race.
I dare you to put money on him there, Bompier. Very interesting to see. We have a few more time penalties as well. Drivers love to get very close to the rear of the other cars ahead. You leave some more space there, but it's also putting some pressure on the car. Mind games going on. Murphy is one of the few drivers as well in the top 5 who has no time penalties. So if he can bring it down the last few laps here, that would be absolutely amazing. Murphy together. But Ladies and gentlemen, this is your moment. You have time, I think, for another full lap. Another 2.5 minutes for you to quickly run onto the toilet, quickly run into the kitchen, refill your drink, get yourself some more food to enjoy the last few laps here, or maybe just clear your face from the sweating, nervous tears that we see. I am definitely need a shower after this commentating. What a race this has been so far. We still have people as well watching us. Thank you so much, everybody in the chat. Please let us know who do you think is your driver of the day. This is your opportunity to support every single driver who's still racing. We have 12 driver currently still alive and out of track. Let us know in the comments, who do you support? Is it a dear friend? Is it a racing driver that you love racing against? Is it someone that you support, or is it potentially someone from the family or partner? Let us know down in the comments if you do enjoy it, if you don't want to miss the next race as well, when we go into the next calendar of Italy. A interesting track. Lovely Monza, absolutely. Bumpy, I can imagine you're thrilled to see and to race there.
I definitely am, and of course the introduction of sprint races as well into Cone next week in Monza. Definitely interesting to see with that one-shot quality. No room to mess up your lap. But the safety car now has the lights off. It is coming in for the 4th time this race. I think Quicker and Nacho made contact on the safety car, so their penalty is potentially getting removed. So with that on the board, Quicker doesn't have a penalty as well. So he is currently in a net P2 with Murphy in P3 and Wildog just behind there. But Mark Wilson, he was very unlucky with speeding on the VSC, but this safety car really helped him with no penalties. I think he's in a net P6 maybe. So still very good result for him on the table. But let's see now where Leon decides to go and if Wildog is alerted this time.
Absolutely, here we go. Hopefully for the last time another safety car restart. We have the Red Bull driver ahead of the Ferrari, and he's taking a totally different approach. He's just taking it slow in the apex and now is getting away. A good start, but Wildog this time has definitely learned from the previous restarts. Staying very close, and we have some more battles as well. The two Alpha Tauri drivers are getting close to each other. Hopefully there's going to be some team communication between Jacko and Murphy. Jacko is now preparing the big charge, and I think that Murphy has let him past, if I'm not mistaken. But Murphy and Jacko, a good position for him, but in a way better position is Leon himself, who did win the last race already. Are we gonna be able to see a 2-strike? And what we see at the moment is just a little bit more warnings, a few more time penalties. Of course, in wet conditions, it's so tricky. It is so tricky to stay on track, and we have a battle as well. Mark Wilson against AFL 1994. Both drivers have a really good pace and on similar tires as well here. Mark Wilson making up the position up to P9.
Yeah, that was a very good move from the Alpine there. And luckily, unfortunate for him though, he did pick up a penalty in that last lap. So that is P7 provisionally, maybe even P6 for him gone out of the question. McConey though, looking to pick up pieces without those penalties. It really shows how important clean driving is. Just keeping it on the black stuff there, it can make the difference between, well, maybe even a podium here and P6 if Murphy picks up a penalty. Jacko really pushing Quick Killer as well, just showing him he is there, that the Aston Martin can't make any mistakes or he has lost a position. While the loses touch with Leon, doesn't really matter though, because the DRS of course doesn't get enabled in the wet conditions, so overtaking will be a bit tougher there. Mark Wilson though making a move on Gauthier Lefelon in the first sector, really on the back of Hedgehog as well now, making a fantastic move there around the outside of turn 4, switches to the inside of turn 5. and he does make it stick. So that's still P7 for Mark Wilson on, of course, fresher intermediate tires than the guys around him. But still fantastic moves there from him. Quickly now looking on the back of Nacho, using his ERS, maybe a move into turn 8, and he does go for it. A very big send, but just right at the end he backs out of it. Hedgehog and Gautier Leflon now going side to side, and Gautier Leflon is round. And he loses a lot of positions there. Jacko in the meantime as well, getting past Quickiller, still going side to side into turn 10. And Quickiller backs out of that one. But he has got a better exit, maybe looking down the inside of turn 11, but he just doesn't, pushing Jacko there into the corner entry. And what a battle we're seeing here.
What a battle indeed. We have the last lap approaching us very, very soon. Leon is just way too quick than the other guys out on track. Is another 1.3 seconds gap already, despite starting on a safety car restart not too long ago. Now is starting his very, very final lap. Let's have a look at the penalties. We have White Dog with a 3 seconds time penalty. Is he gonna be able to defend his P2 position? And let's keep an eye on the leader. Murphy is behind him with 4.2 seconds, so there should be a very, very close battle between Murphy and Wild Dog, if I can do my maths correctly. Now they're perfectly on 3 seconds, so keeping an eye on this, but enjoy the last lap for Leon. Jacko is just collecting another time penalty, unfortunately now on 9 seconds behind Nacho. This is gonna go down to the very, very last moment, and we have so many cars as well, very, very close to each other. And Wild Dog just able to make a better exit out of the turn 9 it is, if I'm not mistaken.
You are indeed correct. It is very interesting to keep an eye on the gap between Murphy and Wild Dog, because I think that will be for the last podium position, after stewards have investigated, of course, the incident between Quickiller and Jacob. But Murphy was in a battle between himself and Mark Wilson, and that is losing Murphy a lot of time. So I think now, if Wild Dog can keep it on track, just keep his pace that he has shown, he will step on the podium even with that 3 second time penalty.
But here we go, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for another W for the Red Bull driver. X Leon 1X takes another victory here, P1, and just ahead of Wild Dog is able to get P2. Congratulations, Murphy is able to take P3, a podium position finish for the AlphaTauri driver. You love to see that. What an incredible race, but ooh, how impressive race that is from Mark Wilson, making up 16 positions up to P4. Just got the wooden medal, as some people, me including, would say, to P4. What an epic race that was. So exciting. Mark Wilson P4, Quickiller P5, McConey staying on P6, the same position as he started, Nacho P7, Hedgehog P8, AFL, Jacko, Gautier, Lefalong, and Mean Man Moody are finishing off the grid. Whew! Boomke! What a race! What a race that was!
It was very interesting to see with the mixed conditions, a lot of safety cars as well. The race had everything. I'd say Mark Wilson as well. From last he was first at the moment, then with the drive-through he was back down to last. Now finishing P4, I think the penalties of Quickiller and CO1 Nacho will get removed. So that drops him down to P6, but nonetheless a fantastic drive from the Englishman in the Alpine there. Quickiller, I think from P13 is on the podium after penalties will be applied and removed, of course. Same with Nacho, he jumps up a lot of positions, but a fantastic race that was.
Absolutely fantastic, and everybody stay with us just a few more minutes, because very soon we will have a podium interview as well. We will have a quick look if the guys are going to join. At the meantime, Bump here, what do you think? Who is your driver of the day? What do you think of this race?
There are some guys that are definitely jumping out of the contention of driver of the day, but I think I'm gonna have to give it to Mark Wilson. Fantastic race. He was started last, qualifying ban, but he showed that with the right conditions everything is possible, making his way up to P4 professionally. It's just an amazing result. He gained 16 positions in a race. That is just incredible from him. I gotta give it to him.
I absolutely agree there with you, Bump here. Absolutely agree. Mark Wilson started from P20. P20! And he finished P4 in everything that happened. And it's only 3 seconds time penalty on his name. Of course, there was a lot that happened during this race. And we do have one person as well already confirmed for the interviews. But the driver of the day from us, the two commentators from our today's session, is definitely Mark Wilson. And there's also some support from for Mark Wilson himself, which is his partner in the chat as well, voted for the driver of the day. We do see some other votes as well for Murphy. And thank you so much, everybody, for being part here in the race, for sharing your comments, share your emotions with us in the chat. And let's have a quick chat with a few drivers out on track. We have confirmed already that Wild Dog is going to join us. Let's see. Leon is also going to join us, so very soon we will be able to hear 2 voices. At least. Murphy, unfortunately, you can't join us. That is not a problem at all. We really enjoyed the race. Hopefully you'll enjoy the podium finish yourself, and you have a good evening yourself as well. Talking about, we had a quick chat about the next race already with the sprint races. What is your experience in this regards? Did you ever try some sprint races already, Boomsje? Gonna jump into it just out of nowhere.
I'm sorry, I was focusing on something else. Can you repeat the question, please?
Absolutely. I'm having a look as well here of when the guys are going to join. At the meantime, we're going to have a look at the sprint race itself. What do you think? What is your experience with the sprint race, especially in Italy? You have to start the race twice for turn 1. Isn't that a little bit scary?
Oh, it is more than a little bit scary. Turn 1 is gonna be a carnage. I can already predict it. And of course, maybe even more so now, it's a one-shot quality. Maybe we see the guys that are normally at the front a bit further back. If they make one single mistake and validate their lap, maybe even, it is gonna be very tough to make up positions in the first corner. Maybe they don't know, they aren't used to a whole grid of them braking just in front of them. So I think there will be some front wings flying at turn 1 next week.
Absolutely, we will definitely see some front wings flying around. And as I am having a look to guys for the party here in Discord, looks like that it is a little struggle. So if you want to have a look through the calendar and see, do we have some other sprint races upcoming? Are we gonna stay on sprint races now forever? What is the plan and for this season, Bumpje?
I think we will have 3 sprint races in this season, with Monza, of course, next week. Then we have 2 races in between the next one. It's Silverstone for the one afterwards. And quick check, I think it is indeed Baku towards the end of the season for the final sprint race. So it's only speculation until the first sprint race has happened. Only speculation, you can't really predict it, of course.
Definitely, we do have some tracks here for the sprint race. One of them are approaching us soon with Italy. I think we have UK as in Silverstone as well, if I'm not mistaken. And I do apologize here, my voice is definitely suffering from this race here what we have. I definitely need to take a big break and open up a beer straight after. And yes, it is Silverstone and Baku as well, one of the 3 tracks to do sprint races. Wow, I can't wait. But we'll give the drivers another few minutes before they can join. Baku as a sprint race. Wow, I'm not too sure if I'm not the biggest fan of it, but my racing rig there will sweat a lot. It's going to be very interesting to see towards the end of the season. But until then, we will have some more good racing, hopefully, ourselves.
Yeah, definitely. At least they made sure you can overtake on the tracks the sprint races at. So if you have a poor qualifying, it isn't game over yet. You can recover in the races, and there we have our 2 podium sitters.
Absolutely, a very welcome and a very warm congratulations to the 2 of you, Wild Dog, and of course our double strike, our double podium, our double victor for the 2 races here. Leon, congratulations first and foremost on the podium, and Leon, congratulations once again for your 2nd victory. How did it feel?
It just feels very good, honestly. I didn't expect this. I just put a lot of practice and it's paying off, which I'm glad about.
Absolutely. A lot of practice is definitely the key for consistency, for your own line, the own strategy that you want to do. Did you do a lot of practice towards the tires, or did you do wet training, or how do you normally approach for a race such diverse as a French race?
I just really do time trial, and then on the Sunday just go into a practice session and just do a few laps, see how long I can make tires last, and see where I can go with that.
Fair enough. Lot of practice there on TC. Definitely we can see a lot of sweating going on for all the drivers around the league in every single tier, but you can definitely see that you have practiced a lot, and congratulations. That was a very diverse race as well, with the weather changes, and I assume. Oh, sorry, Leon. How did it feel for you going through dry qualifying? Then not too sure if there was Jeff telling you about some weather conditions to qualifying as well. A little bit cloudy for Q2, and then it all changed up towards the end. How did it feel?
Well, I mean, it was very difficult, honestly, because quality, it was all dry. I was planning it to be all dry from the start, like I said, on the MFD and everything. But you know, I decided, like, during the race, on the first safety car, to put in mediums, try to drag it out until it started raining, which it did. Then I saw a safety car come out, decided to go into Inters, thinking I cost myself the race. But thankfully, there were a few more safety cars, which gave me the advantage of the undercut.
Yeah, definitely. We had a few safety cars here out on track. So, yeah, thank you very much for your first point of view here. once again, congratulations for the victory. We have another podium sitter as well here with us, the Ferrari driver himself. It is Wild Dog. It has been a long time since the two of us were able to join the podium interview as a driver or a commentator, but congratulations, Wild Dog. How did the race go? Was quite challenging, or am I wrong?
Must say in quali I was hoping to be through to Q3 with my lap, and was quite surprised that I got beaten in that second, because it was really close. Between me and Gautier, I think 22,000 or something, or 20,000 even. It was really close. The race then, I thought I'll do a start on the hards, make a guess, maybe to the last to the rain. Maybe I have to go to the softs if there's no safety car. So that was our original plan, but then the safety cars caused me to pit for the inters. I saw the rain dropping, I thought, right, safety car, perfect opportunity. The track will get wet when the safety car ends. Thought, let's pit. Was at the back of the field, it's like, right, this goes well. Rain, track was still dry, I had mixed feelings then. Tempted to pit again for the dries, but glad I didn't. Must say, when me and Leon had that little bit of a moment there, I was a bit pissed off, because I think it was more of a racing incident than anything, because I think we both tried our best to avoid contact, but it just happened, and I happy that I still finished P2 behind Leon. Leon was just too quick today to catch.
Yeah, absolutely agree that Leon had a really impressive pace himself. Umpia, I don't really know what else to ask for the two guys here, but I'm pretty sure you have some other points as well and to point out.
Well, I do, probably not from today, but of course, as we were talking about it, next week it is a sprint race. How are you feeling about that, starting with Wild Dog?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that, because I think it's Monza, if I'm correct.
It is, indeed.
Monza is usually a track where I've in the past performed really well on. So I'm hoping to look for a performance that's worthy of today. Again, there. I think the sprint race will make it definitely interesting, because don't know what the format really is. Kind of forgot about that.
I think it is a one-shot qualifying, and then it is a 25% race leading up to the main feature race.
I think definitely the one-shot quali will definitely mix the grid up, because people push and validate on the laps probably. So I think we can see a whole different top 3 in quality than what we're used to this week, next week. And then the 25% race, you can pit lap 1, take memes to the end if you want. You can take all kind of different weird strategies, to be honest. That will be a surprising race, I think, to see what people do with the strategies, because anything is possible in that strategy over 25% race.
Definitely is great forecast towards it, and I think Leon's still here. What are your thoughts about it?
I'm not really sure. It's interesting for sure. Maybe I'd prefer a 5-lapper and an 18-minute quali before the main race, but you know, it was voted for this layout for the race. It will be interesting for sure, because as Wild Dog said, there will be a lot of people invalidating the one shots, and then in sprint race anything can happen, and then it's just gonna be very interesting point from everyone, in my opinion.
Absolutely agree there. It's gonna be very exciting next week. The very first time for sprint race. We will have a look, we will try it out and see how everything goes. But I would like to do a big shout out, a big thank you for everyone who participated, everyone in the chat as well, everyone who's still watching. Thank you so much. Of course, a big thank you to Wild Dog and Leon as well as a congratulations finisher. Great job, guys, and I can't wait to see you racing next week. But I think my biggest thank you today is going out to my dear friend Bumpje himself, who was able to join me once again today as a co-commentator. Bumpy, amazing. It was a lot of fun, and I'll leave you the last word for you.
Well, thank you a lot, Steiny. Thank you as well for, of course, commentating today. And thank you to our drivers, to everyone who has participated in the stream in one way or another. And I think with that said, we can look forward to next week